Let's get into the quarterback injuries for week 2 because there are a lot of them that we're tracking right now, and it is not pretty. Joe Burrow is obviously going to be out for at least 3 months. Justin Fields is in concussion protocol. Jaden Daniels, we're waiting to hear more on him with the knee injury. J.J. McCarthy ended up with an ankle injury after that game. We got to hear from both Dan Quinn on Jaden Daniels and Kevin O'Connell on J.J. McCarthy.
Lots of the questions will be about our QB, but I can say here's what I know. And when I say that, it's all really that I know. So he did have an MRI, and he has already begun his return to play process with us. He is truly day-to-day. What does that mean for Sunday? I can't tell you that now. I'll have more to share on that when we get to Wednesday and practice and what that would look like.
J.J. McCarthy, did come in very, very sore today with the ankle sprain. I would anticipate we are not planning on having him for Sunday and don't likely see this being any kind of short-term IR thing, but I do want to see, and Tyler and the group want to see how he responds.
With JJ, people will see that he finished the game last night and at least wonder, is there any part of the decision this week based on performance?
No, not at all. In fact, it was pretty crushing this morning to hear that for me.
Waiver wired specifically for Matthew. Yes, we're here. Let's get into the available quarterbacks because you might need one. Not a lot of clarity there. We'll see what happens with Jaden Daniels as the week goes on.
Yeah, I mean he is one of my quarterbaks in this league,
right.
So I may very much need a quarterback. I have Matthew Stafford on my team, so I at least have somebody.
Need some running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends as well.
I just need somebody to score some points. I have players that qualify at those positions.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know, the site that we play on is down actually for some reason. I was trying to look it up, but I think I'm number one in
wow.
I think I'm number one in points against. So
great.
Yeah,
it's called karma. When you open the draft with a monologue,
you scored 97 points this week.
It didn't matter. No, it was
90.
Oh,
90
for
points.
Sure, 90. Exactly.
90.
For sure, by the way. I wasn't beating anyone this week. But
Last
I'm just
week,
saying,
6 teams would have beaten you as well.
Yeah.
Including both of these teams.
It's bad. I don't know what to tell you.
The points against excuse.
It always gets
if
you.
only I'd played the worst team in the league, I would have won.
Yes.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was the worst team in the league this week.
You can't play Denny every week.
I know.
That's how it
Wow.
works. Yeah,
Wow.
you can't.
Denny, let's just call Denny the bye. Denny's the bye.
Yeah.
I was sweating about, I should have started Tucker Kraft over Cooper. Doesn't matter. I got a 60-point win over Denny.
Yeah.
I got a lot of room to play.
By the way,
true.
Jonathan Medici in the comments really gets it. This must be a backup producer Pete show. We're just winging it again. It's actually Adam producing today. He does a great job on waiver wires.
But anytime, listen, Steven's our teacher. Anytime producer Steven is out, he's not here Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Then it just sort of expands here. And look, so he is not available in our league, but he is available in 82% of leagues, and that's Danny Dimes.
Indiana Jones.
Huh?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I like that for sure. Look, through 2 games, he's averaging over 26 fantasy points per game. He's been a top 5 quarterback in both weeks. And the thing is that he's doing it both with his legs. He's had 57% of the team's rushing touchdowns so far, of the team's goal line rushes so far. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns. They're not scared to do the tush push or some version of it with Daniel Jones. But the other thing that I think is crazy here, Jay, is that he's averaging 9.3 yards per pass attempt, which is 3rd among quarterbacks. A guy that we thought was a dink and dunker has been airing it out a little bit more.
Yeah, and I don't think this is fluky, Connor, because
the
reason why is because he's throwing to his first read. Just every time. This is a Shane Steichen production, and Daniel Jones is the vessel for that, and he's producing. These guys, they get open. He has good receivers. He has a good O-line. He had time against Denver, which was shocking. And the fact that he was able to have this type of performance against an elite defense that was basically fully healthy, and they don't care. They're targeting Pat Surtain. They had 9 throws in Pat Surtain's direction, and they were just cooking him, the defensive player of the year over and over. I think that the offense is ideally set up where it's a low pass rate over expectation. This is Jonathan Taylor's offense primarily, and Daniel Jones is playing off of that. And so I don't really know why this can't sustain. It's probably they're going to punt at some point, which they haven't so far this season, but I think this is going to be a very solid offense. And Daniel Jones, he has priors as being a top 10 fantasy quarterback in 2022.
Yeah, 2 throws in this game that kind of make it feel for real, right? He had the one where he was pressured. It felt rare for him to be pressured in the first half, that he's drifting back and he hits Josh Downs on a beautiful throw to the left. And then the deep ball down the right sideline to Alec Pierce, where you're like, Daniel Jones is finding the deep ball, and really, if he could do that, run a little bit, the confidence in Shane Steichen's offense, there are reasons to be confident right now. Span asks, Caleb Williams or Indiana Jones quarterback pickup? Caleb Williams has the Dallas defense this week, Matthew, which kind of makes it enticing. Or do you roll with Daniel Jones, who's just been better?
I mean, it's crazy
that we're having this question. Tennessee's defense isn't bad.
I feel better about Daniel Jones at this point, I think.
Okay.
I mean,
I would still take Caleb, and I'm very much on the Daniel. I just think Caleb with the scrambling, with the value that he's given us in Russia, and also the rapport with Rome Odunze. The other issue with Daniel Jones, I think there are going to be games, perhaps like Tennessee, where the Colts are 3.5-point favorites, where it's just the Jonathan Taylor show, and there's just less volume. But no, I can see.
I will just say, I just feel like it's going to take a while for Caleb Williams to get comfortable in this offense. It's been 2 games. It hasn't looked great. Other than Caleb, he's got a connection with Rome Odunze, but he hasn't. You know, him and DJ Moore just don't seem like on the same page. They're not using Colston Loveland at all. They're giving way too much work to DeAndre Swift. I feel better about, let me put it this way. At the moment, we only have 2 games to base this on. At the moment, I feel better about Daniel Jones' situation and talent surrounding and coaching than I do about where Caleb Williams is. It's very, very close. It's very, very close.
One thing is that Daniel Jones has Jonathan Taylor as his running back, and Caleb Williams has DeAndre Swift. So the Bears may just need to throw the ball more.
Yeah, but I don't know that I think of Jonathan Taylor as a detriment to Daniel Jones' fantasy value, just because, like, again, then I don't have to. If I'm a defensive coordinator now, I've got to deal with that, right?
Versus drives, yeah.
Right, and it doesn't feel like. With Daniel Jones, they are designing, they are calling designed runs for Daniel Jones. That is a staple of Steichen's offense. It doesn't feel like to me, Connor, that they're doing that with Caleb Williams. He is getting some rushing yards because he scrambles around and
he holds the ball forever.
He holds the ball too long, and he'll get you 20, 30 yards that way. But like I'd feel better about, in week 1 he had the scramble for the touchdown, but I don't feel like they're gonna give him the cheap touchdowns when they get in close the way that Indy has.
Yep.
Each of the last 2 weeks, he got 1 rushing touchdown, which was literally just a leap over the goal line in week 2, and he got 2 in week 1. It feels like they're comfortable doing the tush push to some extent with Daniel Jones, where they're not with Caleb Williams, at least so far.
Every time they get to the 1, it's just Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor's not even getting a look.
Yeah.
So it's close. It's a coin flip. I can't believe I sort of said that, but let me put it this way: I will have Daniel Jones ranked higher than Caleb Williams this week. I get the Dallas defense.
That's going to be the thing to watch, is the total in that game, because not only is Dallas' secondary look awful right now, and I know they've been hurt, the Bears' secondary looks worse, which means Caleb might be in a throw script for most of the game. That's a really tough call.
Yeah,
it's a tough call.
If you need 18 points, I'd go with Daniel Jones. He's got a higher floor. If you need to shoot for the moon, or you want to shoot for the moon, Caleb Williams has much more scope to be like 330 passing yards.
That's the answer. And the other thing is, it depends on the you know what? Here's the other thing I'll say. It depends on the size of your league. Because I think that might be an 8-team league. If Caleb Williams is that's weird that Caleb Williams is on the waiver wire.
Right.
So it feels like that's probably an 8 or 10-team league.
Unless you have him and you're thinking about picking up Daniel Jones to start over.
Yeah. That might be the case too. So it's hard to say, but I'm just saying, in a scenario like that where it's a shallow league, if I knew that, then I might say, okay, go with Caleb because he's got the more upside. And to your point, Daniel Jones is more the floor play. And so in a shallow league, I'd rather go for the upside because if it doesn't work, then I can just get somebody else.
Our next quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, he's only 54% available. The upcoming schedule, Houston, San Francisco, Chiefs, Seattle. If you're picking him up for this week, you care about the Houston game. He was in a shootout this week.
Yeah.
That's why he had over 270 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks. Matthew, this feels one where the eye test isn't always pretty with Trevor Lawrence, but the way Jacksonville's defense played in this game, even against Jake Browning, Lawrence had a lot of opportunities to throw to people not named Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Traveler has a tough matchup this week. I'm going to make that a thing. That's going to happen. The Traveler.
Let's see how it sticks.
Yeah. I may not win our league, but the Traveler
stinks. Bad nickname.
I disagree.
Next time.
All the more reason to make it stick. The Traveler does have Houston at home this week. The schedule gets a little bit tougher. Houston this week at San Francisco, home to Kansas City, home to Seattle. So that's the only concern with Trevor Lawrence here is that the next 4 games, a little tough schedule here, and he's not looked great to date. But I agree with the analysis here that there's a good quarterback in there. We like the skill players around him. It should be a pass-happy offense under Liam Cohen, and they're going to have to be given how bad that defense is. And so I think it's going to be ugly, and I think some of it's going to be junk time, but I do think the Traveler Trevor Lawrence is a viable pickup if Daniel Jones is not available in your league. He'd be my second choice over the rest of the season.
The third quarterback here, guys, Jake Browning, 99% available. If you're in Superflex, I'm sure Jake Browning is going to be a commodity. I think the question is, Jay, should he be? We know Jake Browning is a capable backup in a pass-happy offense, but at Minnesota, being fed to Brian Flores is no easy task.
Yeah, I think low-end QB2, if you have to find someone on the waiver wire, then Jake Browning's probably at the bottom of the list. And here's the issue is that the defenses that he's playing the next 4 weeks, at Vikings, at Broncos in primetime, home Lions, at Packers, and then even Steelers, who I think will ultimately have a good defense, even if they haven't acted like it so far. That's just a brutal string of matchups. And I think that Jake Browning, I think that a lot of his production is going to be fairly sustainable and consistent in the fact that it's a low average depth of target. It's just get the ball in designs to Jamar Chase, take shots down the field to T. Higgins, screen passes to Chase Brown. But I don't think there's a ton of upside, Connor, but he should, just with those weapons, he should be able to get you to 15, 17 points.
Yeah, there's some other guys that we'll talk about that are potential, but Jake Browning to me was my third choice here because I agree with you. The same argument that you make for Trevor Lawrence, less talent, but again, we like the skilled players around him. We like the offense, and the defense is so bad he's going to have to throw. We've seen him be a fantasy viable quarterback. In 2023, he averaged over 19 fantasy points per game. He was actually QB7 in 7 starts during the 2023 season. Now, he did get those 3 rushing touchdowns, which sort of held the total, but again, he got a rushing touchdown.
I say he did it again.
Sunday. Like I do, like it's going to be, you know, again, he had a 12-7 interception, touchdown to interception rate. Sounds about right from what we saw Sunday. He threw 3 picks. Right. He'll be better this week after getting a week of first-team reps. But, you know, and had 3 of the rushing touchdowns. The Brownler, Stuntman Chuck 85 says, oh, I like it.
Don't love
the
it.
The Brownler.
Don't love it.
I know you even more.
I don't know.
No, it's
not. It's not great. It's like a 4 out of 10.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
You like the bad nicknames.
I like the bad nicknames. Yes, the Brownler, 100%.
All right.
Jake Browning, the Brownler. We love the Brownler here. Anyway, he's my number 3 pick. You mentioned the secondaries that he's going to have to face. That's a little bit tough. But I prefer, and I'm curious how you guys feel, because we've now seen Geno Smith have one good game in week 1 and one brutal game,
horrific game
last night. We'll get to that game later on in the show, but just as a pickup, he is available in almost 70% of leagues. Here's their upcoming schedule. This is the Raiders now. They're at Washington this week, home to Chicago, at Indianapolis, home to Tennessee. So it's not as tough a schedule as you might see with Browning or some of these other guys. And he runs a little bit, but I don't know. I prefer Jake Browning to Geno Smith. Are you guys there as well, or would you prefer Geno? You've been a big Geno supporter on this show.
We are a week removed of Geno looking fantastic against the Patriots, so I'm kind of mostly prepared to
But so did Tua.
Right.
So did Tua, yeah. The Patriots defense might be really bad.
With no Christian Gonzalez, they have their own problems in the secondary.
I think I would go Browning just with the faith in that, one, when he did last get a go 2 years ago in 7 starts, he was QB7. He was 19 points per game. Right. And I have more faith in him just giving the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown than I do with whatever's going on with this Raiders offense. I think one name we should touch on, Connor, Carson Wentz. Any life left in this puppy after Justin Jefferson last year helped elevate Sam Darnold? It's not like Wentz's pedigree right now is that much lower than Darnold's was going into last season.
And he's a Kevin O'Connell quarterback, which we've had conversations about Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins on this show. So I think a desperation play. I don't think it's crazy in a 2-quarterback league.
Chuck it up as well, Carson.
I mean,
they play the Bengals this week.
Jake Brown and Carson Wentz shootout is in the range of outcomes.
Yeah.
Very possible.
Give me the over. Yeah. I don't even know what the line is real quick.
I wonder if this gives
Jefferson
a boost with how shell-shocked McCarthy's looked for 7 of the 8 quarters, where it's like Carson Wentz gets in there and he's like, well, Justin Jefferson is out there. I'm going to pepper him over and over again.
Yeah. So it's on my sheet that was produced this morning, it was 41.5, and I'm getting in my ear that it's already moved up to 43.5. Is that what you're seeing, Jay?
Still 41.5 on DraftKings.
Oh, give me the over. Give me the over. Hey, by the way, Adam, I may take that later on in the show.
Yeah. Early line alert is our last segment today, by the way, so stick around for that.
I'm taking that one. Cincinnati, Minnesota over 41.5. No, all I'm going to say is that, Carson Wentz just, I think, having a full week. This is the thing that I think gets missed a lot is having a full week of getting all the first-team reps, which Carson Wentz will have, is so vital to any kind of backup. And so you love the matchup here as well. Some other guys, Tua Tagovailoa plays Buffalo on Thursday. It's worth noting the Dolphins are top 5 in terms of pass rate over expected so far this year. And Mac Jones looked competent last week against your Saints. Now he gets the Cardinals, who have not looked competent. I don't know. They're the least competent 2-0 team in the NFL,
Right.
I feel like. I don't know how that team is 2-0.
I feel like they played the Saints and Panthers to a draw across these two games. Like in terms of the underlying stats merit, yeah, it's not ideal. And Mac Jones, like you just have to have such great confidence that Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to scheme him production. Shanahan was very much in his bag against the Saints, and they have enough healthy players to be able to generate options for Mac Jones.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.